Chairman of the House Administration Subcommittee on Oversight. Chairman, thank you so much for joining us tonight. So your committee made the big news. Your committee released that video footage showing former Speaker Nancy Pelosi on tape admitting responsibility for not having the National Guard protect the Capitol building against the January 6 riots. What's the fallout of this? How will this impact the election?
Well, I'm not, I think it's probably will have some impact on the election. None of us know that, but our objective is to get to the truth of what really happened. And this was really groundbreaking information because we know that the select committee, her partisan select committee, spent about $20 million just trying to put the blame on Trump. But in the heat of the moment, she admitted that it was really her responsibility because we know that the chief of police, Chief Son, had made numerous requests for the National Guard to come to the Capitol, but somewhere in leadership that was denied multiple times. And as we heard on this tape, which we just received on Friday from HBO, that she took full responsibility for being the one that the National Guard was not there to assist the Capitol Police.
Let's watch what Nancy Pelosi said.
We have responsibility, Terry. We did not have any accountability for what was going on there, and we should have. This is ridiculous. You're going to ask me in the middle of the thing when they've already breached the inaugural stuff that should we call the Capitol Police? I mean the National Guard? Why weren't the National Guard there to begin with?
They thought that they had sufficient resources.
That is not a question of how they had, but they don't know. They clearly didn't know, and I take responsibility for not having them just prepared for more.
So here.
Hey there, Patriots. This is Stuart Law Patriot coming at you with another one. What you just heard was a leaked video of Nancy Pelosi during January 6th. In some vehicle, who knows what the vehicle was. I guess they were just trying to evacuate politicians from the Capitol. Excuse me. And her daughter recording what Nancy Pelosi said about that she should have taken responsibility. Now, this came out a couple of days ago. It's been on a lot of news outlets, so I think it's only right that I put my 2 cents into it, considering the fact that I've spoken on many of my videos on basically all the BS by the left ever since January 6th, when Trump supporters, wanted to protest and have their voices heard. But of course, through proof and leaked files, that protest was infiltrated, okay? And not only infiltrated from the outside with people in the crowd, once again, as proof has shown, but it was being infiltrated from the beginning from the inside, okay? And a lot of people were against Trump and are against Trump, saying that he was the one that started the whole chaos, when in fact he has stuck by his story that he ordered days in advance. I believe it was 20,000 National Guard to be around the Capitol and make sure that there was going to be peace and civility. But of course, now that more information is coming out, it's showing that, for lack of a better term, it was what some people are starting to call, it was an inside coup that was started by the Democrats. And now there's information coming out. There was a gentleman on Tucker Carlson, a high-ranking gentleman, security official, that is claiming that I believe Milley, or one of the U.S. military officials, went against Donald Trump's wishes, which basically means that if you go against the president's wishes, you're in the military. That is actually what they would consider a coup. Okay? But before I continue with this, 2 things. As always, I want to thank all my new subscribers and all my subscribers on YouTube and on Rumble. So don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe to the channel and on to the channel on Rumble. And if you want to help support the channel, as always, there's a link in my description to my Cash App and my merch store. If anybody's wondering why you're not seeing my face, I am actually recording from my iPad. Having some problems with my computer. Don't know what to do at the moment. Trying to get the funds up to get that worked on. So excuse me if I don't have a camera or anything like that. There's but so much I can do on an iPad. But I got to try to put the content out. And that's where I'm at the moment. So with all that being said, you know, when this whole thing started, it basically all stunk straight to high heaven. And the left has been pushing a narrative, even with the January 6th committee, making it seem as if it was Donald Trump's fault. But yet, as always, the Democrats cannot do anything right. That's why it falls apart. And the truth to their wickedness, okay, it just keeps exposing itself and it keeps coming out. Now, supposedly this video clip was put out by, I believe they said HBO. They've obtained some inside footage and stuff like that. Of course, nobody's seen this footage before, so now it's coming out. And Nancy Pelosi is running on national TV trying to basically spin the narrative even more. Okay? Which is just mind-boggling. It's like you're caught red-handed and you're even trying to spin that around. You know? And how Congress and the Republicans, the whole party, is not jumping on this the way the Democrats jump on the slightest little thing is beyond me, in all honesty. I mean, this should be where they need to have a massive congressional hearing, and they need to haul in Nancy Pelosi's ass and start asking the hard questions. And damn the politics, forget about who's going to get hurt, who's going to get exposed. They need to jump on this and start exposing the left and the powers that be, whoever's involved in this. Okay, they need to start exposing them, and people need to be held accountable. Okay. I mean, they keep pushing the narrative that Capitol Police were killed that day. No, they weren't. 2 people were killed that day. 2 people died that day. 1 person was killed. The other person, I believe, due to like being, I don't know all the information, but being in the middle of the crowd and with other factors that were forced upon that poor woman, it led to her death. But yet the left, they don't want to talk about that. They keep talking about 6 police officers that got killed. They never got killed that day. As a matter of fact, I've said it in some of my other videos, if anybody does their research, supposedly 3 of those 6 police supposedly committed suicide. Okay? But I'm going to digress on that information right now, but let's listen to more of what they said in this video, and I'll get my thoughts back into it. Here we go.
Here's a question. Should voters accept the January 6th committee report? The question is, you point out, HBO, why did HBO wait until now to turn over this never-aired footage? Why didn't Pelosi or Pelosi's daughter, who took the footage, turn it over to the January 6th committee? Because prosecutors have cited that committee's proceedings in cases against Trump and his supporters.
Right, and why didn't the select committee archive that video footage that they had and pass it on to our committee? I mean, we've got over 900 videos and documents that they did not archive that they should have. So we spent almost a year just trying to recreate all the information that they had received. And I can tell you, this is just a drop in the bucket of the misinformation that is in that select committee report. From the charges that the President, Trump, tried to take the steering wheel of the SUV. We have the driver of the SUV who testified that that never happened. But that transcribed interview was never given to the public. We have other Secret Service agents that say the other accusations they made never happened, and that was never released to the public. So what we have is a report from the Select Committee that was information, evidence was cherry-picked to create a false narrative, and anything that was contrary to the narrative that they want, that Trump orchestrated this, Trump organized the attack, he was the reason, all of that information was hid from the public eye, and in some cases it appears that was destroyed.
You know, it was a terrible day. Pelosi went on MSNBC to call remarks about her comments on the video, quote, revisionist history. The people are asking, how is it revisionist if she's the one admitting it on tape? But, you know, a spokesperson for Nancy Pelosi says, quote, Speaker Pelosi sprang into action that day, mobilizing the defense of the Capitol, that these are cherry-picked out-of-context clips, that former Speaker Pelosi is not in charge of the security of the complex. You know, there's a lot here to unpack. I mean, this 2022 House GOP report, congressional leaders, including Pelosi, chose not to deploy the National Guard early over concerns of optics amid the Black Lives Matter riots in 2020. And a Senate report alleges Homeland Security had information beforehand about possible chaos, but failed to warn about it.
Yes, and we know that intelligence was there, that there was a high probability of violence at the Capitol, against Capitol, on January 6th. That information was passed to the Capitol Police Intelligence Division, but it never went any further. Well, at least it didn't make it to the chief of police, and so he was caught flat-footed because whether it was purposefully held back or just for incompetence, we don't know. That's what we're looking into. But we...
All right, I'm going to cut it right there. And it's because of a word that he used. He used the word, once again, incompetence. Now, I said this many times on a lot of my videos. When it comes to politicians, especially politicians on the left, they love to use that word incompetence. And then what really bothers me with a lot of Republican officials is that they keep using that word also. You know, that word that they keep using should not be accepted by anyone. Okay? And I'll tell you why. You know, if a person gets a job, okay, and they keep doing things that make them incompetent, that person gets fired. Okay? Especially if it's a job where somebody can get hurt. Companies take high precautions. They make sure that they hire the most competent people to do the job because they don't want that person or getting hurt or that person hurting somebody else or whatever the case is. Now, amp that up 1,000 times. Now you're a politician, okay, serving the United States of America. There should be no room to use that word incompetence. Because all it does is show, it doesn't show that you're incompetent, it shows that you're just an ignorant person. Because you don't have the knowledge or the foresight to do your job. And a lot of times that goes with being part of corruption. Okay? So for them to keep using the term incompetence, was it through incompetence that they didn't do it? Or this is no, it's not incompetence. They know what they were doing. They know the outcome that they wanted. They knew how to move their chess pieces. Okay? They knew. Okay, because Christopher Wray can't even say how many FBI agents undercover were in the crowd, how many, how many moles were in the crowd to stir up the crowd. I mean, we see video after video of people out there that were being called out, okay, and while they were being called out, they were actually attacking the people that were calling them out. So there was some very wicked people in that crowd. Okay, whether people want to believe it or not, there were. And whether the Democrats and whoever else was involved is going to admit that, the truth is the truth. What did they expect? Did they expect 1 million people to show up and not somebody have a camera, have a phone? In this day and age of technology, it is impossible with a crowd that size for some sort of truthful information to be exposed. And yet, here they are making it seem as if, oh, we have everything under control. We've got all the videotapes. We have everything under lock and key. No, what you have, okay, is what you thought was going to be put under lock and key. You didn't round up the phones and the videos from every single person that was out there. And mark my words, more and more truth will keep coming out. Okay, I said it in another one of my videos that there is, and it wasn't pertaining to this, but it was pertaining to something similar as far as something happening, that all it takes is that one person that has been holding on to the information, and when they're ready, whoever it is, when they're ready to put it out, it's going to come out. And it's going to be the smoking gun that nobody is going to be able to hide anymore. But they still want to try to put a spin on it as if, you know what, regardless of the information that comes out, regardless of how much is truthful, you need to believe what we say, and everything that is coming out that points the finger back to us, i.e. the Democrats, it's not true. Don't believe your lying eyes. But it's not surprising at the same time. Okay? And this is why I get upset with a lot of people, a lot of the Republicans in Washington, is because they should be jumping on this. Okay? The same way the Democrats are willing to jump on any little thing, they should be jumping on this. They keep talking about, oh, we're trying to figure out, and we're defending Trump. If you're truly defending him, jump on this information. Hold these people's asses in. Okay? Stop giving them so much power to keep continuing their wicked deeds. But let's continue.
Do know, as I said earlier, that the chief had made multiple requests for National Guard, that someone in Democrat leadership, whether it was the Sergeant at Arms or the staff of Pelosi, did not like the optics, so they turned it down. And if we take what the speaker said at face value in this video, which is not edited, so I don't know how you cherry pick something. This is her daughter filming it, and this is the full videos. I mean, this is their videos.
Okay, I'm going to stop it right there. Actually, you know what? Hold on. Let's see what else he has to say.
We take her at her word there. This is the first she knew of any request for the National Guard. Then she should be looking at her staff instead of spending $20 million trying to blame it on Donald Trump.
Okay, and that's about it. And I agree. But here's another thing that I've been hearing a lot, that they keep using that term optics. That the reason why they didn't want the National Guard out there was because of the optics. They didn't want all those National Guardsmen out there because it would look bad for America. Really? Now, here's the thing. Had they had all those soldiers out there, they would have set up a perimeter. The crowd would not have gotten as close. That's number one. So damn the bullshit about their saying that they didn't want the optics. No, they wanted the optics, but the optics that they wanted was to see all those people rushing the Capitol. That's what they were going for. And the reason why they were going for that was because Nancy Pelosi hired her daughter to be, and her camera crew, to be the producers of the videos that were going to be shot and edited. I mean, they even went to the point, which is all facts, that they hired a well-known producer from Hollywood, okay, to be a part of it. And yet, nobody is putting this together. Or so they're making it seem. But all the proof is there. They're saying that they didn't want the National Guard out there because of the optics. No, the optics that they wanted was that if they had the National Guard out there, things wouldn't have gotten out of control. The people that they hired to go in the crowd and stir up the crowd and start the chaos, they wouldn't have had a chance. So get rid of the National Guard, let everybody come in, let their shills and their moles in the crowd, let them stir up the crowd and start destroying stuff, and those are the optics that they wanted. That's basically what it was. So for Nancy Pelosi to come out and say, oh, this is a revisionist history that people are trying to spin around, no. You got busted, you're still trying to lie. The January 6th committee was a sham. Okay? 95% of the people that are locked up in the gulags of Washington should be set free. Plain and simple. Were there a couple there that caused trouble? Yes. But all those people, I don't think so. And if they really want to show the people that, you know what, excuse my phone is going off like crazy. If they really want to show the people that they really want to get down to the truth, how come Ray Epps hasn't been arrested? He is on multiple videos trying to get people to rush the Capitol. And he is being pushed back, being told no, he is being called out, and yet he comes out playing the victim card that his life is in danger. When he's on video telling people we need to come here, we need to breach the Capitol, we need to do this, we need to do that, where is he? And yet people want to throw around that term saying that it was bad optics or whatever the case was. Yeah, you're right, it was bad optics. It was bad optics at the fact that, you know what? You didn't listen to the president who was still the president of the United States. Okay? Because he was president then, you admit that much, but he wasn't president for people to go against him, which in my opinion, like I said, I'll call it out. To me, that sounded like an inside coup. And yet all the left does now is keep saying that Donald Trump is a dictator. Donald Trump is this. Donald Trump, if he becomes the president, he'll never want to leave. Really? But who's been trying to take control since the first day he became president? The Democrats. So who are the ones that are acting like dictators now? Who are the ones trying to control the mainstream media? Who are the ones that are hiding all the footage? If there's nothing to hide, release it to the public. But they won't, because they did not get the optics that they wanted. What they wanted to do was get as much video together as they could, put a documentary together, and just belittle and badmouth half the population. That's basically what it is. But you know what? Ugly begets ugly, and it's all turning around and coming back to bite them in the ass little by little. So when this gentleman says, when he's asked, you think it will affect the election? You're damn right it's going to affect the election in a big way for it to swing towards Donald Trump's favor. Plain and simple. And in my opinion, I understand that Donald Trump wants to bring the country together. Granted, I get that. But enough is enough. People need to be held accountable. People were killed. Okay? And it wasn't by the hands of Donald Trump supporters. Plain and simple, it was not. So people need to be held accountable. Again, damn the politics, damn their position in Washington, their political position. People need to be held accountable. They need to be put behind bars. Because what I've noticed that we're probably the only country that has yet to truly persecute political officials that are up to no good, but yet they'll do it against Donald Trump, but don't dare touch anybody else on the left. And this is why a lot of governments around the world, they laugh at the United States. Because we're supposed to be, a beacon of freedom, and yet they won't even put crooked politicians behind bars. But anyway, that's what I got for you. Don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe, pass the channel around. If you can help support the channel, I'll try to leave a link in my description to my Cash App and PayPal, my Cash App, I should say, and my merch store. And the reason why I say that is because I don't know how to work this iPad when it comes to downloading a video, but you can go to one of my other videos and look in the description. The links are on there. So, again, I apologize for recording on my iPad. Like I said, trying to get things together financially to get my computer back up and running. And that's a whole other thing I got to deal with. But with all that being said, people, remember, stay vigilant, keep praying for each other, keep praying for the children and this country, and keep praying for Trump. Peace.